Hello everyone, it is me, your old friend Techno, coming back at you again with another video almost immediately after I uploaded my first video I did about Yummer and what's been going on with that. I'm making this second video because I have actually just come up with a theory that may provide a reasonable explanation as to what Yummer is, or at least what I think he could have been. So for those of you who currently do not know, I will give you a brief rundown of everything that we know and everything that has happened so far. Basically, there is this online game called SpongeBob Saves the Day, and if you go through the game's files, there is an unused sprite avatar called Yummer, which basically is this creepy, realistic, humanoid-looking creature that was fully intended to be in the game at one point, but was removed for some unknown reason. An entire Discord server has spawned up online with nearly 1,000 fans of SpongeBob all coming together in an attempt to solve this mystery. Now, before I do begin, I want you to know that everything you are about to hear me say should be taken with a grain of salt. This is just my personal theory about what the Yummer actually is. I do not have any proof or any evidence to back up my claims. They should just be treated as a theory for the time being until anything can resurface to the public that could prove it as either true or false. So, with that in mind, I present to you my theory as to what the Yummer possibly could be. If you go through the game's files along with where the Yummer is, you will notice that he was supposed to be in the Krusty Krab section of the game, and also somewhere tagged along with the Yummer there is a file for an unused broken Sandy Cheeks costume. This is what I think, and this is my theory. If you go on YouTube and look up something like Cooler 2000 or SpongeBob Saw or SpongeBob vs. Zombies, you'll come to see that there are a lot of people who really like, or really love this show, I should say, that want to see some horror aspect of it. Even some YouTubers have taken the liberty upon themselves of creating their own little fan series in which SpongeBob goes on some horrifying or horror-themed adventure along with his friends. So we do know there is a large community of fans out there who want to see a more darker and more horrific tone placed in the SpongeBob universe. So, submitted for your approval, this is what I think. What if the Yummer was possibly Nickelodeon's attempt at a fan service for the fans of SpongeBob who wanted to see a more darker or a more horror tone or like a horror twist placed on the SpongeBob universe? And this is what led me to believe this. So first, take a look at this. There's a very popular fan theory about the SpongeBob TV series which suggests that the residents of Bikini Bottom are actually mutated fish that are the result of nuclear contamination in the ocean in the real-life Bikini Atoll, a location in the Pacific Ocean where the United States actually has conducted real-life nuclear bomb tests. We do also know that the Yummer was originally intended to be in the game. We know he was intended to be involved in the Krusty Krab level in some way, and we know that there was a torn-up Sandy Cheeks costume that was also involved somehow through the game's files. So with this in mind, this is my theory as to what the Yummer could possibly be and what his original purpose could have been in this game. So let's go back to that other theory before, about SpongeBob and his friends being the result of nuclear radiation mutating sea life. And now let's take a quick look at Yummer. Notice how he is very humanoid in his appearance and unlike the rest of the sea creatures that we see throughout SpongeBob. What if some unlucky sea traveler was caught up in a nuclear blast and was mutated by sea life into some strange, bizarre monster? It's not far-fetched, and the concept isn't too far from the norm. Think of Godzilla, for example. Godzilla is supposed to be this radioactive monster, the result of nuclear bomb tests in the Pacific. The result of a species of dinosaur that hadn't gone extinct, but whose DNA was mixed in with nuclear radiation. So if we go by the theory that Bikini Bottom is under Bikini Atoll, and most of the characters we see in SpongeBob are the result of sea life mixing with nuclear radiation, and considering that the Yummer could possibly be a human who was caught up in a nuclear blast, submitted for your approval. But what if the original plot of SpongeBob Saves the Day wasn't SpongeBob trying to make his friend's day better, but what if it was SpongeBob actually trying to save the day? What if it was SpongeBob trying to save the town of Bikini Bottom from this strange new monster that is possibly attacking, eating, and/or killing its residents? We can see that by having the torn-up Sandy Cheeks costume, and the Krusty Krab being a main location within the series that is known for being an eatery. What if Yummer actually was out for blood and trying to eat the residents of Bikini Bottom? Now remember how I mentioned earlier about Nickelodeon possibly wanting to do some type of fan service for those fans who want a more darker take on SpongeBob? And also take to note how the Yummer files have appeared in other games dating back to at least 2017. What if Nickelodeon for some time was actually planning to create a more darker horror-themed SpongeBob game that was originally going to be SpongeBob saving Bikini Bottom from Yummer? But for some reason, whether that was to make the series more lighthearted or keep it more targeted towards children, this idea was eventually scrapped, and all that we have left of the original horror concept is the Yummer file and the broken Sandy Cheeks costume file that we find within the game. Believe me, I know that sounds like a bit of a far stretch, but it could be possible given what we know so far. But that is my personal theory on Yummer. I mean, Nickelodeon has even included Squidward's Suicide, a well-known SpongeBob-based creepypasta, into one of their most recent episodes. So them trying to make a more adult or darker horror-themed version of SpongeBob for some type of fan service isn't too far from the truth. Now again, this is just a theory and you should take it with a grain of salt, but this is what I think Yummer possibly could have been. But who knows for sure. If you are brand new to my channel, or if you are already a subscriber, hi, hello, I am Emperor Techno. I make videos on all kinds of crazy, creepy things. Make sure to keep yourself liked and subscribe to this channel because I have a lot of other content on the way, and there is a lot I have in store. So until next time, stay weird.